Let's see, this is a good one. How do you go deeper into the Bible when studying it on your own, and what are some ways to study the Bible by yourself?
All right, I'm going to take this. I'm going to go super quick, and I just have a ton of bullet points. So first off, I'd encourage you, if you want to do this, find a place and a time and stick to it. You know, for me, I do my devotions a lot in my office right now, but before I had that available, it was 6 a.m., kitchen, table, and then the second tip would be to set up cues so you're ready to go. So the night before, I'd make sure the Keurig has water in it because that's just annoying. I'd have my Bible on the table or whatever I was using. Keep going on. Start with something attainable. If you want to develop this habit, and if you're not reading the Bible at all, start with 5 verses a day. I mean, if that's your goal, you will get to more than that pretty quickly. But if your goal is 2 chapters, 3 chapters a day, and if you fail early on, it's just going to be discouraging. Start small, attainable, something measurable, 5 verses a day, something like that. Get a Bible that you really love. So that there's a couple ways to do that. I'd encourage you to get a study Bible. Now, you want to distinguish between a study Bible, the notes below, any devotional resources you use, all of those, that's not God's word. So don't read the study Bible. You want to be weary. There's God's word, which I trust my whole life, and then there's everything else, which is helpful often, sometimes not. And then find a translation that is something you can read. So I would encourage you guys to pick a word-for-word translation. But honestly, if you're just getting started and you want, like, the NLT is more of a dynamic, more thought for thought, then it leans that way. And so I wouldn't use it as my main study Bible. But when I was younger, I went to that all the time because I needed that in that season. So I personally love ESV and NASB. These guys could tell you if they have a different translation. If you're just developing it, be weary just to get into all of that. It's more about spending time with our Father. I'm going super quick for you guys, but there's some good resources, online resources, devotional books that you can use to help you out. I use Blue Letter Bible a lot. I think they're really good. And then keep a notebook handy. I like doing devotions with the notebook because my mind races. So I'm reading God's word, and then I'm thinking about lunch in the next thought. And so, or I'll be thinking about something I need to do. So I'll write down, I'll do this later. And then I don't have to think about it, worry about it. Or if I have a question, I'll write down that question so I remember to come back to it. And then last thing, or second to last thing, join a discipleship group if you can. If you can get into God's word, you set a time, you're doing all of this, but if you could surround yourself with people that also have a hunger to do that, that would be great. I know we all have different small groups in our college ministries. We have different ways that you can jump into discipleship groups, and some of those vary, right? We have at Foothills a discipleship group where you just attend a small group, and then we have like classes that you sign up, you spend money, you pay to join, and those are going to be a lot more in depth. And then last thing, be patient and consistent. If you do that, God is going to meet you as you consistently go to his word and really honor it in your life with your time and your energy. Yeah.
I had a friend who really helped me because he wouldn't eat food until he read his Bible each day. It really inspired me. I was like, that's awesome. It's just like, that's your real breakfast. He's like, I'm not having breakfast till I have real breakfast. My kids don't get screen time till they read their Bible, so that's a good trick. Maybe you need to apply that to yourself. And I would also just say, find a friend that wants to get into Jesus and into the Bible. In college, I had a friend called Joel, and we decided one summer, let's meet every morning, 6 a.m. at the coffee shop, and we just read our Bibles, for a good hour, separate tables, but we just made sure each other showed up. So it's a great way to do it as well.